Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Kuma. I'm an associate civil engineer with the LA County Public Works, part of the Vision Zero section. And as part of the Vision Zero initiative, our goal is to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries on unincorporated LA County maintained roadways. So we use data-driven process to identify where collisions are happening, and then we prioritize our projects and programs for those areas. So today I'm here to introduce you to our upcoming planning effort, which is the Rural Roadway Safety Plan for the unincorporated Antelope Valley. And I'll be gathering your feedback today regarding traffic safety, whatever your challenges or concerns are. So that's mainly my purpose of being here today. I do have a presentation, and I know I've shared the digital copy with the council members, so they'll pass it on to the virtual attendees, hopefully. And I also have handouts fact sheet about the project, a little overview, and a feedback form related to that. So just a quick overview of LA County Vision Zero initiative. Back in August 2020, Board of Supervisors adopted Vision Zero Action Plan, which included strategies or actions to enhance traffic safety, basically aimed at eliminating traffic fatalities. And then we also identified 200 collision concentration corridors, which were based on the data analysis of collisions from 2013 to 2017. And these corridors are basically half-mile roadway segments where 3 or more fatal or severe injury collisions happen. So our efforts are focused on these corridors already. And then if you want to learn more in depth about the Vision Zero Action Plan, we have a website, visionzerolacounty.com. So with those 200 collision concentration corridors, there are over 28 of them all around unincorporated Antelope Valley area. So on the slide, on the left map, you can see the closest one to Pear Blossom community is kind of Avenue T in Little Rock, based on this Vision Zero Action Plan. And then we also have 50th Street showing on the right map, which is one of the top 20 among those 200. So knowing this, Public Works in conjunction with Department of Public Health, we applied for grant funding for the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. And we were awarded funding for that. And a portion of that will be used to develop this rural roadway safety plan for the Antelope Valley. So in the fact sheets that will be shared with you, there's a map basically showing a collision heat map for most of the unincorporated Antelope Valley. So on the slide, if you can see, the green dots are the fatal collisions, and then the clustered areas are severe injury collisions. So we noticed from 2018 to 2022, which was the 5-year period after the action plan was adopted, there was a 76% increase in the Antelope Valley area. So which really, gave us a purpose to have this supplemental planning effort. So the goal of this rural roadway safety plan is basically to develop recommendations to inform future traffic safety projects in your communities based on what the community needs are. And we will also focus on our collision concentration corridors in the area. So the way we want to approach this plan development is basically engaging with the communities as much as we can throughout our planning. And also doing our technical analysis to get to a point where we can propose recommendations ready to go for implementation projects after this plan is finalized. So some of the treatments that we'll be considering as part of this plan include some of the typical rural area treatments, such as roundabouts, rumble strips, and shoulder widening, passing lanes. But we will also look into other innovative engineering solutions that are more appropriate for the communities here. So right now we have a tentative timeline to complete this safety plan, which is approximately 2 years. And like I mentioned, we're going to carry on our community engagement throughout the project. So this is not the first time or the only time you're going to be hearing from Public Works. We'll be back throughout the different stages of the project. And our first stage is going to be data analysis, where we're going to be studying the most recent crash data. That data analysis base is going to help us figure out or identify some of the issues around the Antelope Valley or wherever the concentration of crashes are. But we also need community feedback for that, because there could be near misses around the communities that don't get reported through collision reports. So that's why I'll be showing up the QR code later on a slide for the feedback. So you can scan it with your smart device, or we can mail you the feedback forms. So basically, getting back to the timeline, we're going to do our data analysis. Then with the data analysis results and community feedback, we're going to go into feasibility studies so that we can see, whatever recommendations we have gathered, they can be implemented in areas. And then we'll also create some conceptual plans, and that would finalize basically our safety plan. So like I mentioned, the feedback that I'm here to gather today is anything related to traffic safety that you're experiencing around your neighborhoods, your communities, or throughout Antelope Valley. So the questions that I'm asking on the feedback form are: what does traffic safety mean to you? What traffic safety challenges you're experiencing and you hope the safety plan would address in the Antelope Valley? And then if there are any roadways or intersections that you would like us to prioritize in the safety plan. And then if there are any people or groups that we need to involve in our planning process, then do tell us. And what are some of the best ways to involve the community? And then lastly, anything related to traffic safety that you want to share, then do share with us. So I hope you guys partner with us for the safety plan development. And I will share my contact information with the council and the handouts and feedback forms. But the QR code is there on the screen. And then the form link is, you can also go to the link, which is lacounty.ews/RRSP to get to the feedback form. And if there are any questions, I could take that at this time. But you have other ways to reach us as well, to our Vision Zero email, which is visionzero@pw.lacounty.gov. And then we also have a hotline, which is 833-VZ4 LACO, LACO. Thank you everyone for your time, and I'll take any questions.
You guys got any questions? I have some questions.
Yes.
since our goal is Vision Zero and we don't want to leave anyone out behind. So I agree, trying to find some of the high collision areas is important. But I think what's probably important to a lot of people are the near misses areas. Because those receive no attention at all. And even if they have received attention, there's some sort of other county ordinance or state law that prevents anything from ever being done. Or years of bureaucracy and red tape. I'll give you an example. LA County passed some sort of ordinance or rule about paving roads. They will not pave a road. They haven't paved a road, I think, since it was like what, the 70s or something like that. When we had a meeting with Public Works, actually, you guys don't pave roads. That's up to the contractors and the developers. Well, I live in a town where there's no developers. There's never been any developers here. So we have a lot of streets that are unfinished. We have dirt. Then we all have a sudden street. Then we have people just building across easements. Then there was easement fights. Now we have the fire department that's even been cut off because of all these roads have never been truly defined. Like, okay, well, what are they really connected? Right next to the school, we have a half a road. So to get on that, like you have like for parents to drop their kids off or the school to use it because not everyone uses school buses anymore. They all drive. So you have a higher flow of parents. So the modern trend, the modern traffic flow represents that. A lot of parents driving to drop their kids off, not the few school buses that when it was built in the 90s. No matter how they try to design it over there, the schools don't have money. And it can be easily solved with one strip of asphalt and some grading. But because LA County doesn't want to pave roads, we don't have a, we have a hodgepodge intersection for where kids go every morning and every afternoon. I don't know how many near misses I've seen just in the past 10 years, and not to mention parents. The county pays for, the supervisor, I think, has a fund that pays for the crossing guard. The crossing guard is on Longview and W, which is a quarter a mile, eighth mile away from the school. So that leaves this intersection completely unmanned from any type of oversight. And if it wasn't for a couple vigilant parents every once in a while, when you'd have a parent that's another parent that's too much of a rush, overwhelmed from all the kids yelling and screaming, that's a dangerous corner. Now, you guys done your best to brighten it up, but it still doesn't change that the traffic pattern is distorted. So maybe in Vision Zero, a good plan would be to have a bypass around that ordinance. You know what? We need to strip or lay asphalt across this quarter mile section so traffic flow of today can be represented. I think that would be very important. And another one is if we could do our best to convince the state of California, and we can help you, to stop planting trees at $1,000+ a piece in areas that shade nobody, that are not natural trees. And the 4 that they planted out here the other week will shade nobody. And they're not even trees that are from here. So if you're not consistently watering them, they're gonna die. And I know that because I have the same 4 trees in my yard and I have to consistently water them to keep them to a certain health. So we installed 4 trees right here on a corner that has a lot of traffic. And they're not shading anybody. They're actually, the sidewalk that's dedicated from LA County is on the other side of the street from where those trees are. So I see what a lot of people see what's trying to do with these trees, but they're not helping. They're actually causing more problems. They're taking parking away and our carbon footprint. And I think this is where Public Works should speak up against LA, against the, you guys are always taught to reduce your carbon footprint. But yet we send out 3 big gigantic diesel trucks to put all these in, and then a diesel truck to come through and water them all the time. Like the carbon footprint for this tree is insane. It doesn't even balance probably what the tree's gonna make. So if all that money went into actually road maintenance and fixing things that are important to our community, instead of being forced on us like trees and the inability to pave the intersection for a good proper crosswalk, I think those are ways that Vision Zero can help our community and many other communities like us that have similar problems. Like I said, we've never had a developer here, so we don't have any roads that are developed. We don't even have one catch basin in this town, and that's a whole nother conversation, but
What was the location of the school that you mentioned?
the school would be W, and this is 128. That's the intersection.
Well, with Vision Zero, I know our focus is traffic collisions that are fatal and severe injury. But based on what you shared, Josie might be in attendance. I don't know if she have a comment regarding that, but I'll take it back to our department for sure with all those other points that you made.
Yeah, we just think it's important because you talk about the near misses. That's it, right? That's it. That's the near miss. And the one near miss is gonna be a child. And I guess the point that I think is more important instead of the intersection, because we've already brought it to everyone's attention, is the way for your team to actually address an issue like that. Instead of saying, oh, this law is in our way, or we can't do it because this person is in charge of it, or California is making us plant trees, like, because I know they are. And they're using our gas tax to do it at $1,000 a tree plus. So fighting for Vision Zero doesn't mean developing a plan that addresses the 10 major intersections. For us, Vision Zero is creating a way for your team to bring up to our elected officials, hey, your law is hurting people. Your law has created so many ways where we can't address a simple situation without jumping through a million hoops or whatever it is. Like, that's what we need out of Vision Zero. And I think that would help our community here the best. I really do.
I agree. And then, yes, we are trying to think as innovatively as possible to address some of the issues. So all your points are noted.
Very cool.
I will take it back. But yes, please provide us anything else in the feedback form. Is there any question?
No questions in the chat. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much.
Look, good evening, everyone.
All righty.
My name is Amy.
Um,
I'm an associate
I am
civil
gonna go
engineer
into
with
our
LA County
update.
Public Works, part of the Vision Zero section. And
And then,
as part of the Vision Zero initiative, our goal is to eliminate traffic fatalities and
We
serious
can go into
injuries
discussion
on
if we're not overheated.
unincorporated LA
But,
County maintained
we could
roadways.
also table some of
So
those
we
as
use
well.
data-driven process to identify
Okay.
where collisions
So,
are happening,
first
and then
first
we
update,
prioritize our projects and programs for
Pear,
those areas.
Pear Blossom
So today
Emergency Aid and
I'm here
Response.
to
As of
introduce
today,
you
we
to our
received our
upcoming
4th
planning
container,
effort, which is
our
the
4th shipping
Rural Roadway
container.
Safety Plan
Ready
for
for
the
our
unincorporated Antelope Valley. And
disaster
I'll be gathering your
distribution
feedback today
block
regarding
here for all the other
traffic safety,
councils and local
whatever
rural
your
communities.
challenges or concerns are. That's
And,
mainly my purpose of being here
I'd like
today.
to thank
I just
Nathan
have a
and
presentation.
Jamie from
And
Cope
I know I've
Preparedness
shared the
for
digital copy with
going
the
through
council
the 4
members, so they'll
months
pass
of
it on to the virtual
back and
attendees,
forth
hopefully.
with
And
donations,
I
the
also
shipping
have
company, and
handouts,
for them
fact
finally
sheet
making their way
about
here.
the project, a little overview, and
So
a
I'm very
feedback
excited
form
about that.
related to that.
We have 2 work days
So,
that we're gonna plan out,
just a quick
August
overview
2nd
of
and
LA
August
County
9th
Vision Zero
from
initiative.
7 a.m. to 11. We're gonna have the tractor here, so we're gonna need
Back in
some
August
braking. We're gonna be
2020,
setting
Board
the
of
containers,
Supervisors
and,
adopted LA Subdivision Zero
filling
Action
some of
Plan,
the
which
containers
included
with some
strategies
new
or
products, and
actions
also be giving
to
away
enhance
a bunch
traffic
of
safety,
disaster preparedness
basically aimed at
supplies.
eliminating
So that's
traffic
coming up on
fatalities.
August
And
2nd
then we
and
also
August 9th,
identified
7 a.m. to
200
11.
collision
Trying to beat the heat.
concentration
I know it's usually
corridors,
really hot in August,
which were
so
based on the data
um,
analysis
if we get an
of
hour out of
collisions
everybody,
from
we'd be fine.
2013 to
You
2017.
know, the fact that we have
And
the tractor, it's
these
really good.
corridors are
But
basically
I
half
just really want
mile
to
roadway
get people
segments
excited
where
about seeing
3
what
or
we have
more
coming to the town,
fatal
because
or severe injury
this
collisions
is going to
happen.
be our Red Cross. This
So
is
our
going to be
efforts
everything for
are
all the new
focused
people
on
here in
these
town who
corridors
weren't prepared.
already.
Um,
And then if
gonna
you
leave
want to
my
learn
lights off and
more in
pretend
depth
that I
about
don't have
the Vision Zero
power.
Action Plan, we have a website, Vision
So
Zero
a lot happening
LACounty.com.
with PEAR. I'd like to
So
with
with
that,
those
I'm gonna put
200
out
collision
a flyer
concentration
again, like what we
corridors,
did. And we can
there
hang
are
it on
over
our new
28
bulletin
of
board
them
at Town and
all
Country, and then
around unincorporated
social
Antelope Valley
media
area.
it up.
So on
Trying to get
the
some
slide,
volunteers that want to help us,
on the left
and then
map, you can
also
see
our
the
giveaway.
closest one
So
to Pear Blossom community is kind of
very
Avenue
thankful
T
for all the free
Rock,
stuff that we've
based
got.
on this Vision Zero Action
We
Plan.
have a lot of things coming
And
our
then we
ways,
also
like
have
water
50th
pumps.
Street showing
You know,
on
we're
the
thinking
right
about people with
map,
horses,
which is one of the
animals,
top 20
ways to get
among those 200.
emergency
So,
water out of
knowing
the
this,
aqueduct or Big Rock Creek if we
Public
have to.
Works in conjunction with
I think one of our
Department
biggest
of Public
challenges
Health, we applied for
going to
grant
be
funding for the Safe Streets and Roads for All
how do we
grant
get the water
program.
from there to here?
And
Because
we
don't have a
were
water buffalo
awarded
yet.
funding for that.
I know we
And a
got
portion
Wendy's
of that
water
will be
trucks, but
used
they're
to
gonna be
develop this
all over the
rural
place,
roadway
possibly even
safety
stuck
plan
somewhere.
for the Antelope
So
Valley.
I think that's a little bit long-term goal, the next goal, but
So in the fact sheets
getting
that
there.
will be shared with you, there's a map
I'd like
basically
to,
showing
Mary,
collision
did you
heat
have
map,
any updates you'd
for
like to
most
give?
of the unincorporated
Okay,
Antelope Valley.
I'll come on
So
over
on
here
the
to you.
slide, you can, if you can see, the green dots are the fatal collisions, and then the clustered areas are severe
All right.
injury collisions.
Yeah.
So we noticed from
There
2018
we
to 2022, which was
A lot
the
of updates,
the
actually.
year
Started
period
with
after
Deputy
the
Godoy was
action
here.
plan was
He didn't
adopted.
mention it, but there have been some
There
problems
was
up at the Hubbard placement with his security guards trespassing on the properties surrounding.
Gave us
And
the purpose to
I
have
urged
this
the
supplemental
neighbors
planning
to
effort.
file reports, so he
So
was
the
kind
goal
enough
of
to
this
go out there
rural
Monday
roadway
and take a
safety
report.
plan is
Not
basically
this, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, the
develop
26th, is going
recommendations
to
to
be the
inform
next
future traffic
quarterly
safety
progress report for
projects in
Hubbard.
your
Which
community.
is the first one in front of this judge
What the community
as to how
needs
he's
are.
doing.
And
And
we will
they
also
also tried to tell
focus on
Liberty
our
tried to
collision
tell
concentration corridors.
the
in that
deputies
area.
that they were hearing volleys of
way we
automatic
wanna,
gunfire at
approach
night
this
and that
plan
sort of thing, which
development
the
is
neighbors are
basically
saying is
engaging
just
with
not
the
happening.
communities, as
But
much as we
anyway,
can throughout our planning. And
there are a couple shooting ranges
also
up
doing
there,
our
but they're
technical
not shooting
analysis
at night. But
to
we know
get
people
to a
have
point
fireworks
where
around
we
here
can
and everything else
propose
too.
recommendations
In
ready
my
to go,
opinion,
for
This goes
implementation
to drawing
projects.
sympathy from the judge for
after,
Hubbard. So
this
he'll be
plan
saying,
is
poor
finalized.
Hubbard's being oppressed again.
So some of
Yeah.
the treatments that we'll be considering as part
as
of
far
this
as our
plan include
legislation,
some of the typical rural area treatments such
the two
as
bills that I've spoken of
roundabouts,
before, SB
rumble
379 and SB
strips,
380.
and shoulder widening, passing lanes. But we will also look
I wanted
into
to tell
other
you we're very happy.
innovative
They're
engineering
both passed
solutions
through the state senate
that
unanimously
are
through
more
public safety,
appropriate
unanimously through
for the communities here.
appropriations, and unanimously
So right
in the
now we
state
have a
senate itself.
tenitive timeline to
senator-
complete this
every
safety
state
plan, which
senator
is
voted for it,
approximately
which
2
is
years.
So unheard of to
And
get unanimous
like I
consent to anything
mentioned,
in the
we're
state
gonna
right
carry
now.
on our community
So we're very
engagement
happy about
throughout the
that. That's both
project.
of those two
So
bills.
this
Also,
is not the
SB
first time
379
or the only time you're gonna be
yesterday
hearing
passed through,
from
because after
Public
that they
Works.
switch it down to the
We'll
state
be back
assembly.
throughout the
It passed
different
unanimously
stages
through
of the
the
project.
Assembly Public Safety
And
Committee
our
yesterday
first stage
also.
is gonna
So
be
I
data
think they're both
analysis.
well on their
Where
way.
we're gonna be studying the
Fingers
most
toes, everything
recent
crossed. Yes.
crash data.
We're hopeful.
And
if you
that
need an
data analysis
explanation on
basically
379 and 380, I
help
brought some
us
flyers
figure out
here,
or
but basically
identify
379
some of the
attempts to make
issues
the
issues
State
around
Department
the
of,
Antelope
the
Valley or
Department of State
wherever the
Hospitals
concentration of
accountable
crashes
for public
are.
safety as a
But we also need
consideration
community
for
feedback
placements.
for that
Currently,
because there could be
the
near
Department of State
misses
Hospitals, the state in
around
general,
the
has no
communities that don't
accountability
get reported
for any
through
of
collision
this. It's
reports.
all left
So
up
that's
to their
why
contractor,
I'll
Liberty
be
Healthcare,
showing
everything
up
that they choose to
the
do.
the
And there's no
QR code
oversight.
later on a
So
slide
this
for the
hopefully
feedback,
will
so
make the
you can
state
scan
take
it with your
some
smart
responsibility.
device. Or, you know,
That
we
one
can
is going through a little
mail
faster.
you
Then the
the
other,
feedback forms.
SB 380
So basically getting back to the
proposes set up
timeline, we're gonna do our
well,
data
that's just a
analysis,
feasibility
then
study at this point.
with the data
For
analysis
the
results and
feasibility
community
of
feedback,
placing
we're
them in
gonna go
transitional
into
housing on
feasibility
state
studies.
property.
So
like
that we
on the
can
grounds of the mental
see,
hospital
you
where they're
know,
all
whatever
currently living,
recommendations we have
rather
gathered,
than out in
they can be
neighborhoods.
implemented
So
in areas.
those are both on
and
a
then,
good track.
we'll
Also,
also create some conceptual plans.
yesterday, Catherine
And
Barger's
that would fund, and then timelines
deputy, her justice deputy
basically
told me that
our safety plan.
Supervisor Barger is going to be making a motion
So like I mentioned,
in front of the Board of
the
Supervisors,
feedback
probably
that
on July
I'm here to
1st,
gather today is anything
supporting these
related to
bills.
traffic safety
I
that
sat in on
you're
the meeting this
experiencing
morning with the
around your
deputies.
neighborhoods, your communities.
Some of them were questioning, oh, well,
or
is this
throughout
fair to the
Antelope Valley.
SVPs?
So
What is the definition of public safety?
I'm asking
And we're
on
just
the
saying, it just
feedback
says,
form,
currently, public safety is not a
what does
consideration of all the
traffic
things they're
safety
allowed
mean to
to,
you?
are required to consider for
what traffic
placement.
safety
It's not
challenges
listed.
you're
So this makes them
experiencing and you hope
take that into
the
account,
safety
take
plan
our
would
neighborhoods
address
and our views.
in the
I
Antelope
got,
Valley, and then if there are any roadways
Captain
or
Barden from the Palmdale
intersections
Sheriff's Station
that you
to
would like
also
us to
comment on that
prioritize
hearing.
in the safety
And he was
plan.
able to give some short comments on that
And
as well.
then
So
is there any
at this
people or
point, we're just gonna
groups
cross
that
our
we need
fingers
to
and
involve in our
hopefully
planning
that will become a
process? And you tell
resolution
us,
for the
and,
Board of Supervisors
what
also.
are some of
Knowing
the
how
best
big the Board of
ways to
Supervisors
involve the
is, that would be a
community?
really good thing.
And then
for our
lastly,
area to have
anything related to
more
traffic safety that
visibility.
you want to
And
share.
the text
then
of that
do
motion is
share
very
with
long, but
us.
basically it speaks to how our area of the Antelope Valley is the only place that has SVPs placed.
So
in the
I hope
county,
you guys partner
and
with us for
It
the
was clear to
safety
me
plan,
from some of the deputies' comments
development.
this morning that
And I
not
have-
everyone actually
I
understands what
will
an
share
SVP
my
is, but I didn't have time to
contact
explain
information with the
anything.
council
I had literally a
and
1 minute
the
comment.
handouts and feedback
So
forms.
I tried to do what I could. I hope I didn't kill the kill the motion,
There
but
on the
we'll see if it
screen,
goes through.
And then the form link
One more thing,
is
I get away
you
that
can
fast.
also go to the link, which is
The state
LAcounty.pw
Joint Legislative Audit Committee
RRSP
did an
to get to
audit
the feedback
on
form.
the
And if there are any questions,
entire
I
SVP
can take
program.
that at this time.
From the
but
Department
you
of
have
State
other ways
Hospitals
to
all the way
reach
down
us
through
as
to
well.
their placements.
To our
The results from that came out last October.
Vision Zero
And pretty damaging, I would say,
LAcounty.gov.
to them, to Liberty
And then we also
Healthcare.
have a hotline,
That was the basis of
which is
why these bills are finally going through after 4 years of bumping,
VZ4
disappearing halfway through the process. This year, they stand a good chance
Thank you everyone
because
for your
the
time
facts
and I'll
listed
take
in
any
that audit are
questions.
pretty clear
You guys got any questions?
that the program is not working as it currently is.
I have some questions.
Yes.
Um,
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's nearly $1 million,
Since our
sorry,
goal
nearly
is
$500,000
Vision Zero,
per
and we don't want to
predator per
leave anyone
year
out
to place
behind.
them in the communities.
So I agree.
$486,000
Trying to find some of the high
as of
collision
a
areas
year
is
ago, but I know
important.
that's higher now.
But I
And if
think
they keep
what's
them in the mental
probably
hospitals,
important to a
that was
lot of
about
people are the near
$390 million
misses areas.
dollars. So
Because those receive no attention
it's
at
cheaper to
all.
keep them in the mental
And even
hospitals,
if
but
they
there are
have
that
received
legal reasons
attention,
why they can't keep them there
there's some
forever.
sort of
apparently.
other county
I get that.
ordinance or
They
state
just don't need to
law
be
that
right here in
prevents
our
anything from
community.
ever being done.
No, they don't.
Or
So that the hearing for
years
that,
of bureaucracy
Senator
and
Juan,
red tape.
Assemblyman
I'll
Juan
give you an
Carrillo
example.
pushed the audit committee to
LA
do
County
a
passed
hearing on that.
some
They
sort
were
of
supposed to have a
ordinance or
series of 3
rule
hearings, which kept
about
getting pushed
paving
back. It
rules,
was going to be
paving
August
roads.
20th. They were able
They
to
will
pull it
not
back
pave
to
a
July
road. They haven't
15th,
paved the road, I think,
which is
since
great,
it was
but it's
like
only
what,
going to
the
be a single
70s or
hearing, I
something like
believe,
that.
and they're not allowing
When we had a meeting
organizations to
with
comment.
Public Works,
He had asked me to
actually,
go
you
up and
guys don't
comment. He
pave
had asked
roads. That's up to the
the DA's office,
contractors and the
Section Development Creditor
developers.
Unit.
Well, I
They were
live
gonna
in a
send someone
town
from
where
the
there's no
state,
developers. There's never been any
District Attorneys
developers here.
Association.
So
to
we have a
comment.
lot of streets that are
So they
unfinished.
may
We
not be
have
able to, I think
dirt
currently it's just gonna be the Department
Then
of
we all
State
have a southern
Hospitals and the
street,
auditor
then we
that are
have
going to
people
actually
just building
speak.
across
But
easements.
it's a good
Then there was
thing.
easement fights.
I can do
Now we have the fire
the
department that's
1 or 2
even
minute
been
public
cut off
comment at
because
the end of
of
the hearing.
all these
But
roads have
that's a
never
long way
been
to go to
truly
Sacramento again
defined.
just for that.
Like,
So
okay,
I'll have
what
to,
are they really
I have to think
connecting?
about that a little
Um,
bit.
Right next to the school, we have a half a
Did I
road.
forget anything this time? Okay, good.
So
You are
to get
awesome.
on that,
Thank you very much for everything
you
you're
have
doing.
like
you're
for
welcome.
parents to drop
doing
their
a lot
kids
to
off
keep our
or the
house-
school to use
She's
it
doing
because
a lot
not
for
everyone
us.
uses school buses anymore. They all drive. So you have a
No, there's
higher
no
flow of
questions. We got
parents.
6 people here.
So the modern trend, the modern traffic
They're probably
flow
still used to us being
represents
online.
that.
With
A
how
lot of
hot it
parents
is
driving
today,
to
it
drop
probably
their
would
kids
have
off.
been better.
Not the few school buses that when it was built in the
We'll have
nineties.
a perfect, nice August meeting.
No matter how they try to design it over there, the schools don't have
Okay.
money.
I
And
will
it
go
can
ahead
be
and move
easily
on to our
solved
next
with
update.
one strip of
Um,
asphalt and some grading. But because LA County doesn't
I'm gonna
want
go
to
ahead
pave
and,
roads, we
just
don't
curb
have,
Awesome Highway 138.
we have a hodgepodge
So we
intersection
have a new person in charge.
for where kids
Her name
go
is
every
Karen,
morning and every
I
afternoon.
forgot.
I don't know
her,
how many near
assistant
misses I've
that will
seen
be
just in the
helping.
past 10
But they're gonna
years,
be coming out,
and not to mention
personally
parents.
to do an
The
inspection
county
of the
pays
highway,
for,
so they
the
are fully
supervisor,
caught
I
up
think,
with
has a
where
fund
we're
that
at with
pays for.
everything. They didn't want a lot
The
of time
crossing
to go
guard,
by.
the crossing guard
So
is
I had
on
a meeting with
Longview
them
and
the
W,
138
which is a
Safe
quarter
Roads
a mile,
Initiative team.
eighth mile away from
Um,
the school.
So I'm expecting them to be
So
coming
that
out
leaves this
anytime soon.
intersection
I know
completely
they wanted to
unmanned
do a Thursday or a
from any
Friday so
type
they
of
could see the
oversight.
traffic flow.
And if it
See
wasn't
some of
for
the
a
things.
couple vigilant parents
So
every
see
once in
some
a
of the
while,
things that
when you'd have a parent,
Friday,
another parent, too
anytime
much of a
after
rush,
3.
overwhelmed
after
from all the
3 on
kids
Friday.
yelling and
Getting
screaming.
bad.
I
That's a
agree.
dangerous corner.
So
Now, you guys done your best to
as I
brighten
have
it
a feeling
up,
that we're
but
making
it
good
still doesn't
direction.
change that the
The
traffic
fact that we
pattern
have
is distorted. So
a leadership
maybe in
change,
Vision Zero,
and they've already reached out to us
a good
shortly
plan would be
afterwards.
to have a
means
bypass
they're not
around
losing
that
focus.
ordinance.
They
You
wanna
know
keep
what? We
on
need
top
to
of the
strip
issues.
or lay
So
asphalt
one of the things
across
that I
this
want to push for us
quarter
is
mile section.
where are
So
we really at with
traffic
our
flow
light?
of today can be
Because we've been
represented.
told 3 different
I
stories
think
so
that'd be
many
very important.
times, and
And
the last time that I saw
Um,
Caltrans schedule
another
on
one
the
is if we could do our best to convince the state of California and we could
NCTC
help
meeting,
you
our
to
light
stop
wasn't
planting
on that,
trees at
which
$1,000+
to me it
dollars
should
a
have been.
piece in areas that shade
It was just
nobody,
early,
that are not
maybe
natural
whatever,
trees.
but I don't
And
know.
the
I
4
didn't see
that they
it,
planted
so
out
I
here
really
the
want to
other
know what's
week
up, the true deal with our light.
will shade
and,
nobody.
Why it's been
And
either
they're not even
changed
trees
again
that are
or,
from here. So if you're not consistently
what
watering
the new
them,
deal is.
they're gonna die. And I know that because I have the same
You
4
know what's
trees in
scary
my
me?
yard and I have to
How many
consistently
cars
water
are
them to
using
keep them
that
to
center
a certain health.
turn lane for a
So-
lane? Yep.
Yes, they're,
I'm
We
waiting for
installed
a
4
good head
trees
on.
right
I
here on
mean,
a
we've
corner
had 'em.
that has a lot
We've
of
had 'em.
traffic.
it's getting really bad.
So,
And they're not shading
And then
anybody.
another
They're actually the
alternative
sidewalk that's dedicated
we
from
gotta
LA
think
County
about as
is on the other
locals.
side of the street
So
from where those
106
trees are.
is a pretty dangerous
so
intersection.
I see what,
And
let people see what's
what
trying to
they're
do with
thinking
these
is
trees, but they're not
forcing
helping. They're actually causing more
either a big
problems.
roundabout,
They're taking,
some sort
they're
of
taking
unique
parking
light,
away.
or
Our carbon footprint,
a forced
and I think this is where
right-hand
Public
turn
Works
lane.
should speak up against
So as you
LA,
come up on the
against
highway, you're gonna
the-
be forced to
you
turn
guys are
right,
always
and then
taught
you
to
can make a
reduce your
U-turn at
carbon
the next
footprint.
signal.
But yet we send out
So
three
I
big
thought
gigantic
about that
diesel
and how
trucks to
kind of
put all
odd
these
it
in,
sounded.
and then a diesel truck to come
But if
through
it
and
gives us
water
the
them
opportunity
all the time.
to put a light at
Like the carbon
116
footprint for this tree
and
is
a light at
insane.
96.
It doesn't even balance probably
because
what
of
the
a
tree's
forced
gonna make.
right at 106.
So
That would
if
give
all
us
that
2
money
lights
went
on the
into
highway.
actually road maintenance and fixing
But you wouldn't be able to
things
cross the
that
highway
are
right there at
important to our
106. You could
community,
cross at 106
instead of being
or,
forced on us
116.
like trees and
oh, you mean
Uh,
forced right?
the inability to
Yeah,
pave
so
the
say you come
intersection
down,
for a
you come
good
down
proper
106.
crosswalk.
So you need
I
your
think those are ways
U-turn,
that
exactly.
Vision Zero
Because when
can
you're
help
saying
our
a forced
community
right, I'm
and
thinking
many other
138,
communities
you're
like
gonna
us
do a
that
forced
have
right?
similar
I don't know.
problems. Like
It'll
I
just
said,
be,
we've
you'll
never
only
had
be
a
able to make a
developer
right
here.
onto the highway.
So we don't
at
have any roads
106.
that are
And you can go up to the intersection
developed.
if you have to turn around. to
We
go
don't,
to
we
the
don't
other
even have
side.
one catch basin in this town.
That's one of
And that's a whole nother
their ideas are
conversation,
coming
you
up
know,
with.
but
Unless they put like an actual blockade, people aren't gonna do
the
it.
school would be
Oh, there'll be a
W
blockade.
and this is one
There'll
twenty-eight.
be a
That's the
blockade.
intersection. Um,
they're
Well, the
really
Division
trying to find a
Zero, I know
solution
our
where they
focus
can keep
is,
the traffic slow, but also increase.
collisions
I think
that
if
are
they gave
fatal
us
and
two,
severe
two
injury.
lights,
But based on
96,
what you shared.
that's a really
you know,
dangerous corner as
Josie might
well,
be
or
in
intersection,
attendance.
super dangerous,
I don't
goes
know
to
if
a
she
school.
have a
And
comment
then if you have
regarding that, but
116,
I'll
that's
take
right
it
at the
back
beginning
to
of
our
town.
department for sure.
So that's gonna
With all
slow down a lot of
those
people
other
before they come
points
into
that you
town
made.
as well.
Yeah, we just think it's
Especially when
important
someone's trying
because
to
you
get
talk about
across
the
or
near
even do the
misses.
U-turn right.
That's
There's
it,
an
right?
accident
That's,
waiting to happen.
that's,
So they're
if that's
looking
the
into
near
those.
miss. And the
But I
one
really
near
wanna
miss
find
is
out
gonna
what's up
be a
with our ride
child.
on 126.
And
So when I have that
I
meeting,
guess the point that I
with
think is more
Caltrans,
important instead of the
I'll text
intersection,
you
because we've
guys
already brought it to
immediately with
everyone's attention,
what's up with our
is
lights, so
the
we can share it at our
way
next
for your
meeting.
team to actually address
We already
an
talked
issue like
about,
that. Instead of saying, oh, this law is in our way, or we
Public
can't do
Works.
it because this person is in
Um,
charge of it. Or California is
last
making us
update,
plant trees, like, because I know they
I
are.
actually have two, sorry, Jose.
And they're
will
using our
give us
tax, our gas
ARTC
tax to do
update in
it
a minute.
at
If he has
$1,000
anything.
a tree plus. So
So the duck races,
fighting for Vision
Um,
Zero
it's a
doesn't
lot of
mean
work,
developing a
a
plan
lot of work
that
for the duck
addresses
races.
the 10 major
This year would be
intersections.
our
For
50th
us,
duck race.
Vision Zero is
And
creating a way for your team
uh,
to bring up to our
I see it
elected
as an old
officials,
tradition that
hey, your law is
can
hurting
fade out
people.
softly over the
Your
next few
law has
years, or
created
we can
so
go
many
out with one
ways
big good
where we
50th
can't address
shabam
a simple
and start a new
situation
tradition.
without jumping through
We
a
have a lot
million
of new
hoops or
community
whatever it
members
is.
from
Like,
here to
that's
Lake
what we
LA
need
to,
out of Vision Zero.
and a lot of us aren't
And I
connecting
think that
yet.
would help our
We need a new
community
way to
here the
connect.
best. I
We need a
really
new
do.
fall festival. We need
I
something that
agree,
connects
and
with our
then,
Hispanic
yes, we are,
community.
you know, we
Something
are
in
trying to
November,
think
something that,
as innovatively as possible
something
to
that all
address
of us
some of the
can
issues.
get
So
together and do
all your
from every
points are
council and be a
noted.
Very
part
cool.
of.
I will take it back. But yes,
So
please
I,
provide us
I would like
anything
the
else in the
council,
feedback form.
you know,
Is there any question that?
No questions in the chat.
to pursue
Anyone
that.
else? Okay, thank you very much.
I think the duck races, we have to start now. Like buy the ducks now, like next week or today or tomorrow type stuff. And it takes a lot to raise them. We got stuck with the ducks and last year because there were so many males and we had to feed 20 ducks for X amount and food and I think there's other ways that we could have some new fall fun within our town. I don't ever want to forget the duck races. I think we should have a all on full-blown tribute, something. Get a big sculpture here, 50-foot tall duck, whatever, something silly. Can go out in the sculpture garden. But I would like to start going to the other councils, talking to them. And we really build up a good show and it's announced by January of next year. Southeast Antelope Valley's Fall Festival is going down. Sorry, Palmdale, it's not gonna be going on with anything on yours or Lancaster. This is something where we're gonna have everything from mariachi bands to horse riders to maybe even some sort of silly duck thing, but whatever we have, I think it'll be a new tradition. I know Will from Little Rock, he was talking about possibly that if he's available, that we could bring a carnival here. Have a possible carnival on top of that. So if timing's right and everyone is involved, I think we're gonna have something that, is way beyond the duck races. And it's gonna take our greater community to make it happen. So that's where I'm at with the duck races. Are you guys all right with moving forward to a big fall festival with the other councils?
If we can get the cooperation of the other counties.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. And other community, I know he's excited. And I have a feeling that if we do it, it'll be more in November than October. So if there is a diehard group that wants to carry the duck races on because they don't want to see it go, we could provide an opportunity for that to happen and just keep it super hyper local, a little smaller. But I'm not raising them anymore. I'm done. I think I could help with a random event, but it's a lot of work. 40 ducks. And then we only race the ducks no more than 5 times each. And yes. And then once they hit their 5th race, they go into the chill pen and then they happy retirement wherever they go. We don't want them stressed out. That's why we've always had so many. We only get 4 at a time anyways.
I'll be at the last round, see if anybody wants to take it for this year. I just think it's 15th anniversary. So.
This 50th, this is this year, and then we would announce. Yes, we are gonna do this one.
But if you can find somebody who would do the Dutch sport, he'd
Yes.
appreciate that.
I was thinking about that.
Right?
They were already ready to tell me something about chickens. We got 5 ducks right now. Sugar.
Yeah, 40 used to be, they had to bring their own ducks. And the beginning. Yeah.
35 poultries.
Hence why you raise safe ducks, stored up. They would have where they had to dress them up, and they'd have a parade, and they get for things for that.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that used to be done.
We could, I think we could have some fun this year. And if we do have a spark, it could be possible, but I think what we should really do is try to really bring in our greater community. I feel like every place that all the other towns have are all attached to the county and red tape. And no one can have like a true festival like we can. You know, and I think that's one advantage we have about our property here. Jose, do you have any? Yeah. Jose, do you have anything that you want to say on about ARTC or anything?
So I pretty much touched based on the last meeting. We're kind of ahead because I give you a heads up on what's going on. The only thing that comes out, and this is something that we should bring up at the August meeting, is that what community benefits from renewable energy projects. Meaning, we should have the discussion, and this is where we're asking the other town councils of if whether it's battery, solar, or something that the county allows to be placed in our neighborhood, those projects, what can they provide to the community, whether it's a portion of the taxes or some sort of a facility or other benefits. So we can kind of bounce our ideas around so we can take back to them. We discussed the green hydrogen energy as a possibility. The county does not have a program or ordinance for them yet, but they're it's being considered as they revise the ordinance. All right. Then lastly, we have at the next meeting, which will be June 25th, there's an important presentation from the housing ordinance update. And my guess is that they're going to make changes to allow for more housing development and to try to make, I guess, easier to develop affordable housing, quote unquote. We'll see what happens. And in addition, we're also going to have a presentation from the dark sky LA County ordinance. They have made some updates to the ordinance, and they'll present on what those changes are. So once they present, I'm sure they'll also go around the other town councils to share what the updates are. So that's it from me.
Well, thank you, Jose. A little bit of that cut out, but we did have it recorded so we could post that report as well and give anything that we missed on our end. So thank you for everything, man. And I know you're doing that from your car. All right. Last thing on our list.
Right now.
Oh, I'll remember that.
Anyways.
Just got a nice tip for our audio for next week or next show that we have in 2 months. I would like to table our discussion.
Get feedback.
I'd like to table our discussions for tonight, till our next meeting, possibly in our next agenda meeting, if we ever have one.
Is kind of have to have the agenda meeting to have the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of them, I mean, you kind of already talked about the trees.
Yeah, I think both of,
We need to stick to task, dear.
I creation of task force, city dumping in rural communities, and discussion topic, LA County Public Works tree program. We'd like to table those. The tree one, I'm gonna do some more research on it, so I could present that discussion a little better. But that's all I got. Do you guys have any questions? Comments, concerns?
The date of the August meeting.
August meeting would be, I don't have my,
Hold on. Next meeting will be August 20th.
August 20th. Eddie, you got anything? Questions, comments? Yeah, we go dark in July. If you need anything, just let us know or whatever.
Women's
December.
Club does July and August both. so. July and December, we go dark.
Okay, well, then I am going to.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
All right, well, I could second that motion, and all in favor? Aye.
All in favor.
Time is 8:05.
Hi, good
Thank you,
night.
everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
Of course.